Hi folks, it's Tim. First, forgive me for being all sweaty and a little bit out of breath. I just finished my morning walk and run, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But I'm actually right now at a local park, and they're cutting grass out here, so if you hear noise in the background, that's what it is. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of the weed eaters and lawnmowers. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk about, I'm going to call it true excuses. Like I said, I just finished a run, and I want to motivate people to get out there, to exercise, to walk, to run, to swim, to bike, whatever your exercise of choice is, and really work on your health and work on your fitness. It's extremely important. But whenever I do this, and I've done blog articles and I've done a video or two in the past on this topic of health and fitness, I almost always get one or two really angry comments because of it. People come at me and they say things like, well, you just don't understand. I cannot work on my health. I cannot work on my fitness. And then they give me, usually, a list of excuses. You don't understand. I have a bad back. I have bad knees. I'm too old. I'm too overweight. I'm too out of shape. I don't have time. I don't have money to spend on a gym membership. You know, whatever excuse that they have. And, you know, I'm always like, okay, I believe you. I believe that you have bad knees if you say you have bad knees. I believe you have a bad back. I believe you're old. You know, whatever you tell me, fine, I believe it. But it's still an excuse, even if it is true. See, excuses can be true. In fact, the best excuses usually are true. But they're still just excuses. Yeah, the reasons might be true, but you can find a way around just about any reason, just about any excuse. You can find a way around it, over it, under it, through it. I have plenty of real excuses that I could use to not exercise. Now what I do, and let me just tell you what I do here for a minute. I'm at a local park. It's about 10-15 minutes from my house. It's actually a rather large park. It's run, I think it's jointly run by the city and county. It's several hundred acres, like 500, 600 acres. It's a huge local park. For a local park, it is huge. And they have trails running through it. And there's one particular full lap that I can take of a trail around the park. And I actually go around to a couple of fishing ponds and ball fields, things like that. And one full lap is 1.27 miles. Call it 1.25 just to have an even number to work with. So one lap is 1.25 miles. What I do, and I do this 3 or 4 times a week, I come out here and I walk one lap to warm up. That's 1.25 miles. I then run 2 full laps, so 2.5 miles. And then I walk 1 lap to cool down. So I'm doing a total of 5 miles, walking 2.5, running 2.5. And I do that 3 or 4 days a week. Plus 2 or 3 days a week, I run and walk similarly around the rows near my house and neighborhood. I prefer out here because the scenery is beautiful and I don't have to worry about cars. So 3 or 4 times a week here, 2 or 3 times a week around my house. I run, walk at least 5 times a week, every week, usually 6 times a week. I take one day off, and then, you know, sometimes I'll skip a day if I'm not feeling well or if it's raining or something like that. But 5 or 6 times a week, I'm doing 5 miles, 2.5 running, 2.5 walking. And like I said, I have plenty of excuses not to do it if I wanted to use them as excuses. And they're all true reasons. You know, I hear people tell me that they're too old. I'm 52. You know, I'm not some spring chicken. I'm not some teenager or college kid anymore. I'm 52. And I'm doing this 5 or 6 days a week. I have type 2 diabetes. So I do have a chronic health condition. I still have some vision impairment because of my retinopathy related to the diabetes. I have bad knees. Now, I've heard that excuse a number of times. You don't understand, Tim. I have bad knees. I can't do whatever. Yeah, I have bad knees too. You know, they definitely aren't what they once were. I have a bad shoulder. My left shoulder. I only have about 80% mobility in it. It used to be worse than that, but through some physical therapy exercises, I've gotten it back to 80%. And that was related to my diabetes too. It was something called diabetic lock. You can look it up. And it sometimes hits people with diabetes. They'll have a joint which basically freezes up or locks up on them. So look up diabetic freeze or diabetic lock on Google and read about it if you want to. But you know, I'm up to about 80% mobility in that shoulder. So I have lots of real excuses. And of course, I don't have a ton of money to spend on fancy running shoes or a gym membership. So, you know, I have real excuses too. Just like maybe you do. I just don't use those real excuses as an excuse not to do what I know I should be doing. And I would encourage you to not use your real excuses, your real reasons. I don't doubt that you have whatever reasons you say that you have, that you cannot work on your health, that you cannot work on your fitness. I'm sure you're telling me the truth, that you really do have a bad back or bad knees or don't have a lot of time or, you know, whatever your particular excuse is. But it's still an excuse. You can still find a way to do it. Yeah, you might have to get a little bit creative. It might take some effort. You might not be able to do exactly what I do. If you have really, really bad knees, maybe you can't go jogging. But maybe you can walk. You know, you can walk around your neighborhood, even if it's just a slow stroll using a cane. You can still walk, you can still move. Maybe you can take up swimming instead. That's very low impact on your knees. You know, but Tim, you don't understand. I'm wheelchair bound. That's fine. There are lots of exercises you can do in a wheelchair. You know, talk to your doctor, talk to a physical therapist about it. Aha, Tim, I got you there. I can't afford a physical therapist, and I'm wheelchair bound. That's fine. There are a lot of videos on YouTube you can look up. Look up, you know, exercises for wheelchair people. They're there. There are videos on it that will show you what exercises you can do in your wheelchair. And those videos are free. But Tim, I can't afford the internet. Okay, then how are you watching this video? I mean, I'm sorry, your excuses, even if they're real, they're just that, an excuse. And it's not just health. There are lots of other reasons, lots of other things that people come up with real excuses why they cannot do things, why they cannot get out of debt, why they cannot build up an emergency fund. I hear people all the time, I'd love to move to the country. I'd love to move to a rural area or to a small town instead of living in this big city, but I cannot. And then they give me all the excuses as to why they can't move right now. Family reasons, financial reasons, job reasons. It's excuses. That's all it is an excuse. Even if it's a true excuse. Excuses can be true, but they're still excuses. Do what I do and quit using your true excuses as excuses and find a way to do what you need to do, what you want to do. You'll be much better off, much happier in the long run. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you do, please like this channel and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm planning on start posting a lot more videos. I've got a better camera now, so I'm going to really restart this channel. I think I'm going to do it on both YouTube and BitChute. You know, YouTube's gotten to where they don't like traditional folks, but that's a video for another time. Y'all have a good day.